everyone, and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Kendrick Dix, and we are so glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We're going to have the Raw Ring Report, the SmackDown Ring Report, hot topics. We're going to talk about Omega versus Jericho, what Jericho calls Omega versus Alpha, Omega, whatever he calls it, and the Impact Ring Report for this week. Let's get started with the Raw Ring Report. This week on Monday Night Raw started with Kurt Angle addressing the situation with Samoa Joe. Angle talking about the Royal Rumble match, the Women's Royal Rumble match. Now, the Women's Royal Rumble match is going to apply the same way as the Men's Royal Rumble match. Both feet must hit the floor to be eliminated over the top rope. Thus, elimination occurs. New innovative. We'll know as we get to the show who had declared themselves in the Rumble match for the women and men's. But we kick things off with Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. Now, I know Jason Jordan has been a little bit more, what you call that, spoiled brat. Jason Jordan, entitled, wants things his way. So, Seth Rollins trying to beat that out of him. And Seth Rollins wanted Jordan to go against Cesaro. Jason Jordan held his own and won against Cesaro by fact. So, Sheamus was at Cesaro's corner, where Rollins was in Jordan's corner. So the newly formed tag team champions got to figure out themselves and position themselves in a better light. But we'll get to that later on the show. Braun Strowman destroyed what's his name, Rhino, and he slayed it for the heck of it. So Braun Strowman heading some momentum at the Royal Rumble when he meets Brock Lesnar and Kane in a triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Booker, I can say it better now. Booker T had a hard time, as you can tell, was struggling with that because he came in saying that Brock was going to meet Brock at the Royal Rumble. But if that possible, Brock Lesnar might take on us broom. But Booker T, he was under a lot of pressure, so you got to mind Booker T. Now, Booker T, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt for this week because, you got somebody in your ear telling you, okay. Sasha Banks? I don't know. Sasha Banks, was she in action? What? Oh, okay, who knows? Asuka went against Alexa Bliss, the WrestleMania Dream match that came to reality on Monday Night Raw. So Asuka won in an instant fashion, and it looks like Asuka could be in the running for a title shot. They might switch it up like this Survivor Series and make you think Asuka's in that Rumble, and Asuka might go against Alexa Bliss and might win the title, thus making Asuka the person to chase. Alexa Goldust, Strange Bedfellows, teams up with Cedric Alexander to take on Drew Gulak and Daivari, and can win for his troubles. Goldust now officially a cruiserweight, but he really a heavyweight. But I don't think they ain't got nothing for Goldust to do. And the Balor Club reunited. You see right there, Balor Club right there, reunited. Finn Balor and his cohorts, Kyle Anderson and Doc Gallows, teamed up against Miz Taraj and Elias. Balor Club wins, but I don't know if the Balor Club gonna do some damage or what. Maybe put them against the Shield and see what they'll do from there. They give you a possibility of WWE. And finally was on the Raw Report, Brock Lesnar comes back and confronts his challengers. Paul Heyman dubs them as challengers, not heirs to his throne. So Paul Heyman discrediting Braun Strowman and Kane. Kane came out there And Kane said, I'm here. And Braun was nowhere to be seen, and Kane and Brock Lesnar had to be separated from each other to not cause each other no damage. That's how bad it was from the Raw wrestlers, the referees. So this triple threat match of Royal Rumble is going to get very intriguing with these three monsters: the Beast, the Monster, and the Machine. Expect Royal Rumble to be really chaotic. That ends the Raw Ring Report. Let's move over to the SmackDown Ring Report. Now, SmackDown, WWE Champion AJ Styles was looking to confront Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan after their dubious decisions at this past recent weeks. Shane felt he had to apologize. Daniel Bryan felt he had to apologize. And it was made amends that Daniel Bryan made a match between AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn one-on-one, where both management will be at ringside. So I don't know, it's interesting to follow. Where we get to start with American Beta, I call them, where Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin took on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, for the titles. And it was a good heavy match. And then all of a sudden, American Alpha wins, and then the referee missed the call, and the referee reversed the decision and restarted the match. And American Beta, you can call them like what they call it, like champions for a moment. They won champions, it was just deserved. American Alpha retains their titles. Man, it's just like you get the titles and then all of a sudden they just take it away from you just like that. American Beta like, man, it was just in our grasp. You just taste it, we can feel it. And just up in smoke. Up in smoke was the Bludgeon Brothers destroyed Breezango and the Ascension. So Breezango was supposed to be in a match with the Bludgeon Brothers, and it ended no contest. Because the Bludgeon Brothers just don't care. They just destructive. And then they got that heavy sound music that fits their theme, fits the clothing. And at first I was kind of like a little bit unsure about it, and then now I'm more skeptical. But now I'm kind of full in, because the Bludgeon Brothers, the music, the outfits, stuff like that, they could be on the road, and you could one day see them as SmackDown Tag Team Champions. No. Speaking of championships, the United States Championship was, weeks ago declared vacated because Dolph Ziggler felt like he didn't want the title no more, and he relinquished it. So they created this tournament. As you see, Jinder Mahal and Bobby Roode are already in. Jinder Mahal especially was waiting on who he was going to meet one-on-one. And it turns out that Xavier Woods defeated Aiden English to advance. So Xavier Woods will meet Jinder Mahal in the weeks to come, leading towards the finals at the Royal Rumble for the United States Championship. So, yeah. And speaking of that, former best friends, they was somewhat like the bromance. Zack Ryder and what's his name, Mojo Rawley, they compete next week for the tournament advance. So the winner of that match will meet Bobby Roode. So interesting dichotomy to see who gets shuffled in this United States Championship opportunity match, since Dolph Ziggler don't want the opportunity no more. So we move over to the women's division match where what's her name? Ruby Riott, the Riott Squad, went against the Welcoming Committee in a 6-woman tag team match. The Riott Squad won, and Ruby already announced that she's committed to the Royal Rumble match for the women's side, and her other Riott Squad cohorts also committed as well. Well, women's champion Charlotte Flair welcoming and saying, whoever wins, I'm ready. But Charlotte came out there, Naomi came out there, and somebody else came out there that we haven't seen, that the Riott Squad put to the shelves. None other than former women's champion Becky Lynch came back and regained her severance from the Riott Squad. So Becky Lynch, expect her being in the Royal Rumble match as well. Now, move over to the main event. Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles, 1-on-1, with Shane McMahon ringside, Daniel Bryan ringside, and Sami Zayn won. But the interesting dichotomy to this match is that Daniel Bryan announced that at the Royal Rumble, it's going to be a 2-on-1 handicap match for the WWE title. Since Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens pinned AJ Styles, it's only fair in Daniel Bryan's eyesight to reward them with a world title match where AJ must defend against those two guys in a handicap match. Now you gotta wonder, like, since Raw's Universal Championship has got 3 monsters and they just fighting for every man fight for himself. Now on SmackDown, we know they're best friends, but which of them were willing to make the other friend be the world champion, the WWE champion? Well, who knows? We just have to find out. See, this is interesting, but we will know at the end. We will know at the end of Royal Rumble. So hey, it is what it is. They trying to do something different anyway. SmackDown 2-on-1 handicap match. Raw triple threat. Still the end. Still triple threat on both ends. So hey, it is what it is. All right. That ends the SmackDown report. When we return, we're going to talk about Jericho versus Omega at WrestleKingdom for Hot Topics and much more. This is Pro Wrestling Stuff, so stay tuned.
Cue tracks.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Kendrick Dix. Hey, we got through the ring reports. Let's get to Hot Topics. On Hot Topics this week, now many of you know that it's WrestleKingdom 12 has ended, and the highly anticipated match between Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. This match started way back in October, and it kept building and building, and the match was none other than what I expect. It was high spots, good instant classic matchup between the two men, and who knows, is Jericho the liaison between Omega and WWE to lure Omega to the WWE, which he will kind of be like a Chris Jericho. You know, hey, the possibilities are endless, but it was a good matchup. Even Okada defending against Naito and retain his IWGP, his New Japan Championship. So big ups to New Japan Wrestling for their successful WrestleKingdom, their version of WrestleMania. Big at the Tokyo Dome, I can say close to 1 million people. So hey, it is what it is. WWE announced pairs for the Mixed Match Challenge, and these things are heating up, and they have pairs that people would love to see. You got Finn Balor and Sasha Banks from Raw teaming up. Balor Club is now a legit boss. You got Charlotte and Bobby Roode teaming together. It's like a flare full of gold between those two. You got Women's Champion Alexa Bliss, Raw Women's Champion, and the Monster Mom man Braun Strowman teaming up. That's gonna be an awesome sight to see how they gonna co-resist. Even you got Rusev and Lana reunite as one. They harbored husband and wife. They reunite for the Mixed Match Challenge, and this is what they need. WWE needs that because they don't. That's a perfect example. You don't have Miz and Maurice. Maurice out. She's pregnant. Mike and Maria was out, and now she's pregnant. It's obvious. Come on, Lana and Rusev. Come on, that's organic. Bring them that. But it's awesome to see that the GMs announcing these matches, and you got Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Beth Phoenix to join the commentary team for the Mixed Match Challenge. So this is gonna be interesting. Renee Young, Byron Saxton hosting the show. So hey, it's a good degree and then look out for names to come on this show. So I'm looking for that. Ring of Honor expects to have its streaming service coming out soon, and they calling it Honor Club. Honor Club. So that means like if you're a Ring of Honor ringside member, you can sign up and become, with the Honor Club. So it's that version of the WWE Network, like Impact's version of the Global Wrestling Network. One thing about Impact, they need to try to work on with Impact. Just show it a day after Impact was shown. That's how you get more subscribers. Think on that, Impact. Or just show it once Impact ends on Pop. See? Give y'all some tips, some tricks, some tips. Alright. And Ring of Honor also revealed its new championships. They already revealed the World Championship at their version of WrestleMania Final Battle. They already revealed that there's going to be a new Women's Championship. And they want to complementary that with the titles. They got a new television title, a new 6-man title, and a new tag team title, resemblance of the world title. So Ring of Honor is doing big things this year. 2017 was their most successful year, and I figured 2018 is going to be even bigger than that. Because maybe one day I will go to a Ring of Honor event for myself to see while the fuss and all this madness was cooking and was talking about. Okay. Enzo Amore feeling a little under the weather, and he misses Raw to defend his Cruiserweight Championship. It's a ploy by Enzo not to show up, but hey, Enzo Amore is legitimately sick. So we give him timetable that he might defend that Royal Rumble. Who knows? Speaking of Royal Rumble, a person who's no stranger to Royal Rumble, John Cena. John Cena announced via Twitter that he is entering the Royal Rumble match. This will be, if Cena wins the Rumble for a third time, he will be the second man in Rumble history to win it. First man was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve Austin won the Rumble in 1997, 1998, and 2001. So Stone Cold knows a few things about Royal Rumble. John Cena won the Rumble himself. He's the third man to win it twice. He's the second man to win it twice. Before Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Randy Orton joins that list too as the second man to win the Royal Rumble twice. So that's a list, prestigious list to win. Alright, when we return, we'll have the hot Impact Wrestling Ring Report. Just stay tuned. This is a Pro Wrestling Show. Back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Kendra Dix. Let's get straight to the Impact Ring Report. Alright. Impact Wrestling had, 2 weeks ago, Impact Wrestling wasn't doing nothing. They was doing the best of their shows. So, let's get started with the X Division Championship. It was on the line. Trevor Lee defending against his title against Ishimori. Now, Trevor Lee and Ishimori had their paths crossed, and Ishimori, they finally won the X Division Championship. I'm about to call it X Division Cruiserweight, but it isn't that similar class. Ishimori now a champion and the first man from Pro Wrestling Noah to win Impact title. Big ups to Ishimori on that victory. James Storm talks and reflects about his career in Impact and threatens to send America's Top Team back to where they came from, in Florida. Now, America's Top Team, led by Dan Lambert, has produced some of the finest athletes. You know, some of the athletes that, you know, grind the pavement and works out, like Chemo, Lashley, just to name a few. So we'll talk about that later on. Now, for the first time ever, the Impact Grand title will be defended in a 3-way matchup where EC3 defends against Fallah and Matt Sydal. Now, this match was going from left to right, move after move. Fallah won the first round after he literally rolled over and steamrolled his opponents for no apparent reason, but it was funny. Fallah won that one, but EC3 managed to win the second and final fall to retain his grand title. Now, it makes Matt Sydal even more upset and frustrated that why does not get an opportunity of a lifetime. So Matt Sydal a little bit bitter and angry, but chances are they come in your way and then they go smoking your way. So hey, yeah, what it is. Allie is interviewed and she gets attacked by new champion Laura Van Ness. Laura Van Ness sending a message to Allie that she's keeping the Knockouts title. But you would think Laura Van Ness would be a hot mess, but it makes her even motivated to become champion. She got something on her grasp, the cusp of greatness. You know what I'm saying? The cusp of greatness. Alright. And the match everybody waiting for. Dan Lambert versus James Storm. Career versus career. James Storm trying to put up a fight. Even KM trying to intervene and hit Storm with the bottle. Storm kicked out because he was fighting for his career. Storm lost, but he was forced to leave Impact. James Storm getting respected from the Impact locker room as he says his final goodbye. James Storm was an Impact original. He started in the company in 2002 in June. Became world champion. Became world tag team champion with America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris, and Robert Roode as Beer Money. James Storm, believe me, James Storm's gonna be okay if he doesn't, gets another opportunity. But who knows? James Storm may come back to Impact. They always do the leave town match just to make you feel like they're gone and they come back eventually. But it's like a pay dispute. Impact was trying to save money as much as they can. Chandler Park won in his debut match against a jobber. Now everybody knows Chandler Park is Ethan Page. He won, but he received help from his brother Joseph. You think Joseph Park a little bit bitter, angry that Chandler's trying to take over steal the spotlight? You think? You know how Joseph Park be, and he got to get back as Abyss. All right. Alberto El Patron, the challenger, and Eli Drake, the champion, cut a promo on for each other, and they went to WrestlePro out in New Jersey somewhere, and a world title match was put out there. It's like when they do these world title matches, it's kind of cheap and tawdry because world title match supposed to feel special and feel like you there in the atmosphere, and I get that they're trying to cut costs of them where them wrestling over there makes sense in an economical standpoint. Hey, be it. But make the world title feel more important because that title has lineage too. Because you got AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Bobby Roode, the list goes on and on who held that title. So Eli wins over Alberto. And finally, the main event of the evening on Impact was LAX versus OVE. If LAX lose, they must disband. LAX pull all the stops to keep the train going, and they defeated OVE, are the new World Tag Team Champions. LAX proving the point that they're here to stay and they ain't going nowhere. Big ups to LAX, big ups to OVE. That's the tag team division right there. The future of tag division Impact. And I give my hats off to all four guys. And Sami Callihan and Conan did their incredible promo. You know, can't beat that. Stop none. Alright. That ends the Pro Wrestling Show for this week. I'm your host, Kendrick Dix. And I hope to see you next week as we continue on the road to WrestleMania with the Royal Rumble.